I just realized I can talk. I'm an idiot. Yeah, the stream timed out. It only goes 8 hours and then it poops out. So, hello, whatever maker. I thought you went to bed, Glenn. Interesting you say that, Glenn. I have never printed a Benchy, ever. I guess I have to. Alrighty. Oh, okay. Oh, I just noticed I don't have a power cord for this guy. I'm guessing that's a glue stick. All right, Glenn, I'm guessing I have to wipe it down with the surface cleaner first? Or can I just go right to trying to print with this guy? And do I actually need the glue stick? Ooh. Where in the world? That's right. I tossed the power cord out of the way because I wasn't going to need it for a couple hours. All right. Well, I got screen light on. Yes, it's the coated sheet. All right, well, it came with an isopropyl wipe. So I guess I should wipe this bad boy down. All righty, so let's bring this up and turn this way. I gotta find a better place to get this guy to fit. Screws, spare parts. You go over there. Oh, yeah. Glenn, I thought I was missing a part before. We were going to do it in replacement part in Fun King 3D PETG, but I found the part, so I didn't need it. Actually, I got to bring it back to me this way. All right. First. Oh, what did I do with the roll of film? Something else I tossed to the side because I knew I wasn't going to need it for a while. I'm at 9 hours right now, Dad. 9 hours and 15 minutes. Self-test error. Please check. Front left fan swapped. Front left fans. Okay. Let's try that again. Maybe I hit the wrong button. Left hot end fan? I don't have a hot end fan. Yeah, I still don't remember what I did with the filament, though, Glenn. I took it out of the box and moved it out of my way. I can't remember where. Oh, out of my way. It was under the table. I had a part cooling fan, and I had a hot end fan. Those are the only two fans I had. The only two wires I connected also. Yeah, the only wires I had going even to the hot end, I mean to the heat bed, were the power wire for the heat bed and the thermistor wire. There was nothing else going down that way. Yep. I will run XYZ calibration now. 12 minutes. Now, if the pin to probe's in the wrong place, I'm going to smash it into the bed, I guess, right? Ugh. Oh no, heat bed fan. You know, the bed fan. The hot end fan. Hey, Jake or Matt, I should say. You don't believe in paper, huh? Your bathroom must be a sight there, Chris. Chris, you still traveling or you actually landed somewhere? It works its way down slowly, I see. Hopefully that doesn't sound good, Chris. No. With the pin to probe, I guess it's live adjustments to get it dialed into where it's supposed to be for the nozzle height. And from what I read before, Glenn, it's going to walk me through that whole develop the right squish type thing, correct? I don't know if it'll print yet, but at least it's alive. I might have to mess around with the Delta a little bit, Glenn, so I can print out the extrusions. I have one of the extrusions that I was printing out with the thought of doing the pipe through for our project. So I managed to open up the hole in the middle, and I just have to get a piece of 1/2 inch and see how it fits. But I think I want to print those on a Delta, even though I only do like 200 millimeters at a time. And what does Mr. Sean want? Oh, this was at 20%. I was gonna bump that up. This was just a test fit. But I do 1.2 millimeters all the way around as far as my walls and my top and bottom. Five or 10 millimeters, or 5 or 10%. All right. Measuring reference height of calibration point, 1 of 9. Okay. That's true. I really don't need the density if I'm doing those kinds of shells on it anyway. Sean, did you make it in here yet? There you are. It lives, Sean. No magic blue smoke yet. All right, just ask me, is filament loaded? Should I actually load the filament, or you know what? I'll tell it no, and it should tell me to load it. Okay. Ooh, that didn't look good. Please wait. That's you quacking, Sean. Yeah, I thought I ran into a problem, Robbie, but it was just me being an idiot. I had taken two of the pieces that I needed, and one of them was for the extruder, and I put them over behind the keyboard and never got to the bag. Please insert the PLA. I was loading. It's pooping. My first mess out of this. Welcome back, Mike. Now I can't see it anymore. The line looked really round because it was actually coming out about a 16th of an inch above the bed. Nurse Glenn, please report to the OR. Dr. Kevorkian needs your assistance. Hello, Minnesota Maker. Takes a few shots, huh? The purge strip's the only part that not squished anywhere near enough. Still came off way too easy. How far can you go with the Live Z? Infinite? Or does it eventually get out and have to start over again with adjusting the pin to probe or something? Still way out. I'm not even getting the edges to meet yet. This thing cools down too quick. Is the purge line supposed to look like a screw? That was exactly the same as before. Ah, crap. Hit the wrong button. I gotta get back in there. I was at negative 0.305. I think I'm going to knock it down to like 500, minus 500. Ooh, okay. I didn't think I'd have to go that high. But I can still see daylight underneath it when it's printing, so I guess I could just swirl it down quite a bit. I'm at minus 0.322 right now. Ooh, that was the first time that came out looking like a straight line instead of a screw. They've all looked kind of zigzaggy like this. I don't know if that shows up. Thing cools off way too quick. Negatives down towards the bed, I believe. At least that's the way I've been adjusting it. It's been getting a little bit better. It's finally starting to oval out. Had a square corner for the first time. It wasn't dragging it. It did on that one. I was making square turns now. Before they were always kind of like arcing because it was dragging. Now at least it's turning. I'm at minus 0.973 right now, Glenn. All right, minus 1.1, I believe it was. That might be smushed too much now. I got the edges together now. Oh, can you see what that one looks like? I think I might be actually a little too smushed at the moment. All right, let's run another one of those. Now, since I kicked out of the wizard accidentally before, is there any more steps beyond the live Z adjust? Should I jump back into the wizard and let it run again from the beginning? One of the dogs is dragging something around upstairs. I can't do an orange benchy right now. I got gray filament in here. I'm at negative 1.102. Oh, yeah, that's -1 on the nose. Because this is definitely squished too much. It looks like a blade. Interesting. Considering it tests from all over the place, it actually squishes slightly more on the right than it does on the left. That looks pretty darn good. It's sticking down, which it wasn't doing. I'm liking that. So I'm guessing, let's see what's on the SD card. $200mm cube, I guess, or 20. Means I got to run upstairs and get my calipers, I guess. Where's my cheap old ones? They were down here. There they are. Do the Batman? Sounds like a dance. Print from SD. Triceratops, tree frog, tree frog. Prusa beer. Where'd you go? Thought I just saw the Batman. Where'd it go? There it is. All right, there's the Batman started. I saw the test thing for the how fast it was getting the temperatures up on the game with it, and I want to say it was hitting 100 on the heat bed in like 4.5 or 6.5 minutes. It takes I see our 10 about 15 to get to 60. Hey, Sean, how's it going? Well, it didn't leave a scratch mark across the bed yet, so I guess that's a plus. That's pretty flattened out. I might have to lighten that up a little bit yet. Is this that throwing bat knife thing? Hey, Walter, how's it going? Hardwood floors? Or just tiling or something? Well, I got through this whole thing and only cursed once. That was a plus. Yeah, I got an orange thingy too now, Walter. I finally joined the cool guys. Well, I see why you guys are always raving about these Noctua fans. This thing's got dead silent. Mm. I'm watching my own video, and I forgot to click the thumbs up. So I realized that I timed out earlier. Like 17 minutes remaining. I think that's what that is. He was out of the country, right, Sean? That's what I thought. Okay. The other question I had of this thing is, it has a single extruder. Why does it have two spool holders on top? Just so it looks even and balanced. It's not like you can pick it up and carry it by the two handles. These were black Noctua fans. Which that's probably some special Joseph deal. Well, it's on its second layer, because I haven't gotten that far yet. Actually, your Fun King 3D yellow PETG is currently on the Anycubic console upstairs, because I always said I was printing out parts that I thought I was missing earlier. I just realized that's out of the camera range. There you go. Put it on my phone. I finally broke the roll out of the plastic, Glenn. I was holding on to that when you were printing the FK1 in case they didn't have any in stock over at IC3D and you ran short. Which one is that, Sean? Yeah, I got my non-dust collecting oil for like printer gears and stuff like that sitting on the shelf over there, so I'll give it a squirt a little later on. The noise doesn't usually bother me, Glenn. I usually have the thing printing downstairs and I'm upstairs, so of course it making that kind of noise kind of defeats the purpose of the quiet fans. Hey, Sean, is the Fun King 3D yellow available in PLA as well, or just the PETG? Well, what the heck? Just PETG. Because my console doesn't seem to like PETG. It fights to get the nozzle temperature up there. Of course, I just could change out the hot end, I guess. I do have a mosquito floating around I can pop on here. It looks like a waffle. I never noticed it was the first time I ever printed PETG on it was tonight, Sean. I thought I was missing pieces. And I know I definitely have to do a calibration on it again because it prints like crud. I mean, it's solid enough. Outside of the piece I broke off. But that was because I was hammering on it. What is fluorescent brown? Like neon poop? I can see that, Glenn. You know, especially since I'm sure this thing will be more stable with the temperatures and reaches them easier. and then PET G being more durable, it wouldn't make sense to print PLA. I mean, it's not like PET G costs all any more than PLA. If it does, it's not enough to worry about. It was like 2 infill layers. Now, the live Z adjustment should only affect the first layer, correct? After that, it just goes by its 0.2 millimeter adjustment settings. All right, in that case, what I've got right now is the subsequent layers looked absolutely identical to the first layer. The fact that it looked the same means I must have been about right. Oh, it would affect different layers because of the fact that it's rising up off the bed or shifting around. If as long as it was staying down, I'd imagine subsequent layers laying over the top of it would adjust appropriately. Kind of like getting away with printing on a raft when it's way out of whack. I like the auto filament load too. That was kind of neat, not having to stuff it down a tube for a change. This is also my first direct drive extruder. Everything else is all Bowden that I've got around here. You do it, Sean. Oh no, he was here earlier. Thank you, Glenn. If John doesn't show up at Earth this year, I'm gonna have to stop by his house and give him a wedgie or something, because he's only got like an hour and a half run to get into where Earth's going to be. I know he said he's got another event the following weekend, but run over the hour and a half, say hi, and go home. That's not adjustable, Mike? Wait a minute. Glenn, doesn't this thing level itself? Yes and no. I don't see a whole lot of adjustments on this thing. The standoffs for the heated bed were solid aluminum bushings. Which, when I saw them and having to try and adjust them, align them to the holes, if they just came with a little circle of peel and stick tape, like double-sided tape, put them over the top of the holes, drop them down, that'd be so much easier than having to slide them in with the needle nose from the side. Well, from what I saw on the zigzag pattern, Glenn, mine's got the exact same problem, a little low on the left-hand side. Looking good so far. Yeah, what do I got over here? 3, 6, 9. Holy crud. You had to take apart your MK3 to put on the MMU? Which is first, Glenn, multicolor or resin? I want to check out that Selectra 5 thing also. Apparently they're off of Kickstarter and actually distributing. But when I was talking to the guy via email, uh, it didn't seem like their website was fully set up to ship yet. He seemed to think they were, but I guess I got to wait for it to cool. Nope, don't have to wait for it to cool. Nope, there's the first print off of it. Is it actually showing up? I don't even know. Doesn't appear too bad. Seems solid enough. Hello, Kit. Yes, it did, Glenn. Wow. I see you leave fingerprints really easy on the bed, huh? Oh, the hand that we printed on yours, Dad? Yeah, it's not delaminating. The edges look really sharp. If anything, I might be pushing it in a little too much. And again, it could be the design of the model. It's a little tiny, Mike, for everybody to try and sign this thing. Glenn, have you looked into what you have to do for the curing chamber for the resin yet? I get a kick out of the no limit switches on this thing. It just slams itself into the end and say, "Yep, that's where I'll stop." I mean, you got enough sun down in Florida. I guess you could just lay it out in the yard for a couple of hours. Still no benchy. Besides the fire extinguisher, Glenn. Thanks, Mike. Or other Mike, red light. It's alive. So I guess I probably should double side tape the first print to the crossbar so that it's always there. I hear that, Glenn. I'm supposed to have a class in the morning at 8 o'clock at the church. I don't think I'm making that. But thank you for sticking with me. Have a good night. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. I'm printing a buddy now. There you go. Oh. If it was bigger, I would, Mike. So Buddy's going to take like 2 hours. I don't think I'm going to stay up and watch him print. So what are you working on tonight, Sean? I know you always got some kind of project going on. Where do you have it now, Walter? Out in the yard? Or and yeah, Robbie Mack, eventually I'll probably put the MMU on this thing. I guess it doesn't make sense not to. Thanks for stopping by, Walter. Have a good night. That's a little risky, Walter. I mean, your weather down there changes, the snap of your fingers. Your dad told me when I first went down to visit, if you don't like the weather in Florida, wait 5 minutes, it's going to change. Yeah, you definitely want to get it back inside before tomorrow afternoon then, Walter. Yeah. Yeah. And a half rebuilt engine or transmission on an engine stand in the living room, right? Yeah, Dad, you are. Actually, I think during the course of the entire night, you were probably the old man all night long. I don't think anybody who stopped in this room had you beat. And according to Walter, you would have been the only old man left as soon as Glenn left. Yeah, I figured you agree with that, Walter. That's true too, Robbie. I have to get older. I don't have to grow up. Okay. It must have been the design of that Batarang because the Buddy model's printing much denser and cleaner lines. Later, Sean. Thanks for stopping by. Oh, I got to, and Sean, if you're still there, you still gotta send me that invoice so I can get those 10K spools, that we were talking about. Fortunately, I have one spool I can measure for figure out what I got to do with the spool racer. But yeah, I can tell you for a fact it didn't happen at Murph, Robbie. All right, Sean. I said no big rush. I just didn't want to forget about it because I got the one I can measure up for what I got to, how wide I got to make the thing. But I'd like to have it all set and ready to go. The you still haven't? It doesn't surprise me. It took me about a week to get caught up after Murph. Okay. I'd like to know what they sliced this thing at. I think this is like at like a 0.1 layer height because it's laying in really smooth. Yeah, Mike, I haven't unpacked everything from Murph yet either. You've been doing 7 days a week still, Sean? Where are you from, Kit? Oh, okay. Work harder at sleeping, Sean. That's because you haven't checked out Murph yet. Show him. I know that deal, Sean. This was a light week. I only had like 4 or 5 extra hours, and I took a day off. Most of the weeks have been an extra 10 to 12 hours lately, which is nice, but I'm going to do a 10-hour day. I only want to do 4 a week. And I didn't even shoot you this time, Mike. Yeah, that's true, Sean. Except for Uncle Sam, I used to go, "Hey, nice, give it to me." Yes, you did. How far is that from you, Dad? Newport Richie. One 107, not 110 or 105, Dad. You got to go 107. Later, Sean. Catch you later. Thanks for stopping. I just sub Kid as well. Did you make it to Orlando Maker Fair? That is true, Robbie Mac. The biggest problem I have with Murph and Earth is there's just so much going on that it's tough to actually get together and hang out and just talk to the people you talk to here all the time, and actually just spend time hanging out and meeting with them. There's just nonstop every day. There's things going on, which is good but bad. Yeah, show them. You guys tend to take up a little bit of acreage, and when you go to a venue, between the number of items you have to display and then the size of the tree, you guys. At Earth, I very well may. It depends on a few different things, but last year my biggest concern was not knowing where I was and driving. I didn't want to. I don't like having a couple and then trying to drive back to a place I'm not familiar with. And where we were staying at that Airbnb, that road was dark, farmland, and not good to be negotiated in the dark with a couple beers in you. I got to start shopping around again for an Airbnb this year. It'd be nice if we had a spot that we could turn around and, all right, let's do a little barbecue in the evening one night after everything. Let's go. Instead of staying for the tacos or whatever they're giving away there, go hang out on our own and just throw a couple burgers on the grill somewhere. Yeah, it's tough in a strange area, Mike. It's like, it's bad enough doing it at home where you know the area, But I mean, it's really bad when you're in a strange place, and I know the group that I'd be hanging around with, it would not be one and done. It would be 8 or 10, and then bring out the white cane with the red tip and drive on the way home. Yeah, there are limited choices down there with Airbnb, show them, and most of them are small. You know, the one we were at, we could have put significantly more people in the place with a couple air mattresses, but the homeowner was in an apartment in the basement and knew how many people were dragging through. And we happened to get, we were lucky we got a 5-bedroom unit, but what was that? I saw what you had up there. You know, we're not looking at the same place this year, I don't think. I mean, the house was gorgeous. The property was great. Yeah, it was a good size. No, it wasn't B&B, Dad. It was Airbnb. Uh, Basically, people just rent out their own home. But they had a problem where the basement had leaching water from the outside field because we had all so much rain last year. And their basement was flooding up. So instead of the husband and wife taking off and going somewhere else like they usually do, they stayed in the apartment in their basement and were mopping up the watery mess every day. You know, we were supposed to have use of a washer and dryer, but they were washing and drying towels every day. I mean, thank God we all packed enough stuff for the weekend and didn't need to use the washer and dryer. We couldn't have gotten in there. I mean, it was farm property. It was a wide open backyard with a patio. All right, Sean. Catch you a little later. What are you doing tomorrow night? You finishing the Thanos sword or whatever it was you said you were printing now? Okay, I thought you were finishing it or something like that tomorrow. I had my cousin's interested in possibly doing some stuff with casting. Show him. So I sent him the link to the Alumitube dudes doing one of your swords, and he didn't realize that he could actually set himself up to do that at home. Whoa. Hour and 38 minutes left on this dog. Yeah, dead. That was for Patrick. He's looking to make 37 millimeter projectiles for his quote unquote grenade launcher that's attached to his AR. He's got some weird toys. 37 millimeters is actually a flare, but you can make your own projectile tips and hand load them. I can't imagine what the shipping is on something metal from over there. It's got to have some decent weight. The sizes are large. That's got to be crazy with the stuff he's got to ship back. I mean, that shield he sent you, that adds, what, 5-6 pounds? Yeah, plastic tips, Dad. They just they launch them out, and I think he puts parachutes on the back of them. So they just mess around. They launch them and let them drop. Third time's a charm, Shoal. We'll catch you later. Oh, my cousin's down in North Carolina, Robbie. And it isn't a real grenade launcher. I think the real grenade launcher, the M203 or whatever it is actually a 40 millimeter. This is a 37 millimeter flare, but you can hand load the ends and do just weird, projectiles. There's guys who do like pyrotechnic launches and other weird stuff with them. Yeah, kind of like a mortar and cannon. In fact, I forget what you told me about with, the separate, like fringe type permits you can get. You have to stay within certain guidelines, but he went and legally applied for that and got himself a silencer a while back, and then he had to go to Canada to select and choose manufacturing equipment for the company he works for, and I guess he has popped up a red flag on their the TSA sheet because he got pulled over for an extra special search. He got called out by name. Say, "Oh, Mr. Mulder, step over here." Yeah, and that's mostly what he does when he's messing around with his. But he wanted to do plastic projectiles for launching. Trying to see if he can drop them for accuracy type deal. I don't know what he's messing with, but he's got a big empty field down there to mess around with, so he does. Well, now I got a printer I can trust running all day or all night if I have to, because it's got the thermal runaway protection and some other niceties. I don't have to worry about it going up in smoke. Well, he's got he reloads the existing cases he already had from the 37 millimeter flares, and he said he did have an issue with the current cones he was having; they were coming apart. So he was saying about buffering with cardboard. He is it cardboard too? I actually have to design a nose cone. Dad, what were those old tank shells that are sitting in the back of the garage. The the empty brass we've got. They 105 millimeter or something like that. Catwood tube. Make you bet it wouldn't land on its feet every time watching it like that, Robbie. That would be cool. Toss a GoPro up in the air like that. Ooh, probably getting seasick watching that GoPro spin around. Every time I want to look at it, it's going the other way. I gotta wait for it to come back. Oh man, this thing's printing nice. I like it. So, yeah, Dad, I finally decided. Remember, we were talking about trying to make a nose cone for those things to make a lamp out of them. And I finally realized if I yank one out and take the measurements on it, I can 3D print a nose cone with a hole already going through the center to accept the lamp tube and be able to actually put them together the way it's simple and easy. Forgot about the spiraling. Oh. Spiral cat. Yeah. How you doing, Eric? I don't know what I said, Dad. I can't repeat it. My brain is done. Thanks for joining us, though, Eric. It's up, it's running, and now we're just kind of sitting and chilling while it's doing its thing. Oh yeah, that's what I was talking about. The if I measure it out with the calipers, I should just be able to 3D print a cone that I can pick up a Home Depot lamp end for it. That's everything sized, just bolt together. Let it sit in the top. I know we were always talking about trying to get one on a lathe. Neither you nor I turn wood that way. I mean, I guess your neighbor could do it for you, but it's just easy now. I can just 3D print it. And I could probably get a brass filament that would actually polish up pretty nice. Or copper, I should say, copper filament. I know they have a copper fill. Yeah, I bought that stuff last year, Robbie. I don't. You were at Earth. I don't think you were at Murph last year. I don't remember. Uh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I bought the one. It was a metal PLA that has to be coated with a some kind of like heat resistant rubberized coating, and then you put it in a kiln, and it melts away the PLA, but leaves the metal, which fuses together in the shape of your print. So that was kind of neat. But I didn't realize how involved it was when I bought the sample thing last year, and there was still more stuff to buy to make it go. And I said, well, I don't have a place to do a kiln. The stuff's sitting around here somewhere on the shelf, but I don't know what I'm going to do with it. But that stuff was actually metal, 3D prints. It was pretty cool. That does pretty nice. The bearings seem to be quieting down too. Of course, the range of motion is a lot smaller on this than it was on the Batarang. And the only drawback to these printers is the small print size. I mean, it's probably about a third smaller or 25% smaller than my CR10. It'd be cool if I could take all these components and put them on my CR10. Can you drill it and polish it, Robbie, or is it just has a bit of a look to it? Later, Mike. Thanks for joining me on the adventure. I think if it wasn't for people over there in the chat, I probably would have been cursing and mumbling a lot more with this thing than like I said, I managed to get through with only one foul word, which was very surprising. I know before I quit on the AM8, there was lots of dirty words said on that one. Oh, cool. Yeah, I saw that in the swag video that Glenn put up. That was actually, that cryptex was really pretty cool. Was that a thing of hers model, or is that something you designed? Or both? Well, copper end caps would go green sitting outside, I would think. Yeah, I bought the A8 kit, and then the very next day I caught a fantastic sale on the CR10, and then the CR10 arrived first. So by the time the AM8, or the A8, I should say, showed up, I didn't have much interest in actually finishing it off. I managed to get the CR10 for like $240 when I grabbed it during a Black Friday sale about 2 years ago. Okay. But then you gave him the password. Yeah, it was an awesome deal. I don't know how I managed to catch that one. But now I've got the CR10. I've got a Anycubic Castle, because that was another one I caught a weird sale on. It was like $149 for that little Delta. That printer is just pretty cool. It just, it travels easy if I want to take it to a fair. And then I've got a Zone Star that's in the process of being built over there. I got an FL Sun that's half built over there, and I got this guy's up and running. So I gotta get the other two together, but I have a place to actually let them sit to run and print. They're addictive. They become like collector's pieces. You just keep adding on. That's a good clue for him, though, Robbie. That comment was funny when he said that, or when Glenn told us all about it. I actually said the word in the hallway with Xander standing there, and I got the evil death stare from him. Then he started laughing, but at first he was like, "Give me that glare." Oh, laying down a nice print. Okay, IR happy. I guess the next thing with this is going to be dial in the extrusion, the flow rate. Make sure I'm actually moving 10 centimeters when it's supposed to be moving 10 centimeters. Thank you, sir. I think I need to go upstairs and find something to eat. I know I threw soup in the microwave when I went upstairs to print that other thing before, and then it's still upstairs in the microwave. Well, Kate, you could do what Walter did and use the printer you have to print extrusions and then build your own printer from the extrusions and stuff. Just add the parts to it. You basically build the AM8 only be an AP8 because it'd be plastic extrusions. But Country 3D, he's got videos and stuff all over the place about how he printed up his extrusions for the 3D printer. I mean, I'm doing the extrusions for something else where I don't need to have the structural bit that you need for the printer. But that's a printed extrusion. It's pretty solid, and it's more than enough to hold the parts for a printer. And the model's on Thingiverse. Just tell it how tall you want to go. And actually, I opened this one up for something else. The hole in the middle is usually about a third of that size. Okay, that makes sense. And grab the hot end that way, the motors, lead screws. All right, Dad, I'll catch you later. I'm going to call it a night in a couple minutes anyway. I have to go upstairs and grab something to eat. It's after 1 o'clock already. I got to be up in like 5 hours. Later, Robbie. Good seeing you. Thanks for joining. And Earth can't come soon enough to hang out with you guys again. This time around. Oh, we got another Ron in the room, Dad. Canadian Maker Project. How's it going, Ron? Later night. Good night, Dad. Have you checked AliExpress kit for parts? You know, the shipping can be a little squirrely, but Dad, there's multiple Rons in the room now. Canadian Maker Project is another Ron. All we need is Ron the Happy Extruder. We'll be all set. Yeah, it lives, Ron. It's printing. It did a batarang, which I've already double side taped to the frame, and I'm printing the Buddy model since Joseph just lost Buddy. I figured I'd print out one of these. Yeah, no Happy Ron. So he's been doing a lot of modeling. He posted something up on Twitter recently about a model he designed in what is that? ZBrush. It's actually a cool looking model. I'm gonna try printing that one out one of these days. CMP, crap my pants. Later, Robbie. Catch you later. Yeah, kid, I hear that. I do the same thing if I see something kicking around. I think I have a box with like 4 motors in it sitting around here. I have some kind of knockoff ramps board. So it's one of those things. If we catch it on sale, grab it and put it on the side, because sooner or later you're going to need it. What were you up to tonight, Ron? Other Ron? That's cool. I've got a Maslow CNC that I bought about 5-6 months ago, maybe more, and I got to clean out my garage to make room for it before I can actually put it together. You didn't finish all those yet? Who was filming for you down there? I'm working right now in the one clean area of the basement. The rest of it's got stuff piled up all over the place. I need to make a bench countertop that goes around so I can put the 3D printers all along here, the dye sublimation printer, and the vinyl cutter over that way with the heat press. And the sandblaster's halfway in the middle. I'm going to leave that alone. I don't feel like dragging that around the floor. Yeah, Ron, your camera guy. That Shopsmith tool is a pretty cool unit. You know, if you're short on space, it's just you have to plan everything in stages so that, you know, you can go ahead and do everything with one type of tool until you're done with it, and then switch over to the other tool and do your next phase. It really becomes a problem when some of your measurements are determined on something else you have to assemble, and you got to keep flipping it back and forth. Okay. That's true. If you have different tool combinations to put together that way, rather than having to use that one, that all-in-one. And I'm sure it doesn't do any one thing great. It does everything okay, as opposed to the actual tool is made to do just one thing, doing it as well as it can. All right. This thing's got another hour and 9 minutes to print, so I think I'm going to call it a night. It's what, 1:15, and I still haven't eaten dinner. I've been on streams for nearly 11 hours. So have a good night, all. Thank you very much for joining me. And as you can see, it's printing. I'm sure I'll have a stream going in the near future as I do some dial-ins and tweaks in this thing. But thanks a lot and have a great night.